Hey everyone, it's the Crew Dog. It's been a while since I've been on the air, but here I am. Today, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going over some TracFones. What I've done in the past is I've done unboxings. I've done where I show how the operation is. Today, it's a little bit different. I've got 4 different phones here, as we can see right here. And they've all got some, I'm going to call them anomalies or problems. Now, these are TracFones, and these are pretty good phones. But you have to remember, okay, that you're not paying like, $900 or $800 for a phone. You're paying anywhere from like $29, $39, $49. These phones I have here, the most expensive one that I've got, is about a $59 phone. So, and the reason why is what they call RAM, which is random access memory. Now, you'll say, Crew Dog, you've got, like, you can put an SD card in, you can put like up to 32, 64 gigabytes of memory in them. What are you talking about? Memory is what you would store, like your pictures, your music, those type things you would store. RAM is what is used to operate the phone. And you have to have a certain amount of RAM for the phone to operate. Now, a lot of phones that you would buy, okay, like for $900, they've got quite a bit of RAM. They've got like, 32, who knows how many gigabytes of usable RAM. These phones here, the most that I've got is 1 gigabyte of RAM. And if you're going to be putting apps onto a phone, each of your apps takes up a lot of room. And you're limited on what you can do with it because you can only put so much on and then your RAM's gone and you can't do anything. So I've got that problem with one of them, and I'll go into that one first. That's ZTE, and it's a Majesty. That's this one right here. I'm going to put this up a little bit here. There we go. Alright. And it's already fired up here, so there we go. Let me open it up. There we go. And it goes to the very beginning all the time, and it does that right there. I don't want that, so let me get rid of that. Okay, clear all. Okay, it's cleared. Okay, this one, okay, the problem I've got with this one right here is this phone, the ZTE, it's a good phone. It's got good RAM, and let me show you how much I got in there right now. Okay, it's got usable 856 megabytes of usable RAM. Storage, which is your memory, it's got 6.78, let's just say it's got 7 gigabytes of memory. Now, with what's already on here, okay, I've only got 631 megabytes of RAM there, so I've only got like 220 megabytes of usable RAM. So everything that I'm using on this phone has to operate, or it has to work with that RAM. And believe me, this thing's slow. The problem I've got with this phone, as with all Androids, is they update all the time. And as it updates, this particular phone here, it updates for whatever it might be on your apps. Let's see what kind of apps are on this phone right here. We're going to go into here, and we're going to go into settings. And we're going to find the apps, which is down here, a little bit down here some more. Apps. Look at all those. Weather, app finder, browser. This browser, okay, right here is useless to me because that one right there is the one for TracFone. I can only do so much with that because it's on the TracFone system. I use Google. That's all because it's Android. It operates off the Google system. It uses Chrome. So I can do anything that you can do with a computer on this phone using the Chrome system. This browser right here, which is the one from TracFone, It's useless to me, but I can't get rid of it. It's permanently on there, and it's using 72 megabytes of RAM, so I'm stuck. Okay, the camera's on there. The CCleaner, which is like a Windows cleaner, I use that. And what the CCleaner does is it goes in when you activate it, when you use it. It erases like your cache, it reduces and it gets rid of your unused data, and it frees things up to a certain point. Downloads, Drive, which is Google again, email, Facebook. I don't even use it on this thing, but it's on there. Facebook app installer, gotta have that, right, when you have Facebook. Ford Pass, I own a Ford. Don't say anything about that. I'm sorry, but I own a couple Fords. And this system right here I really enjoy, and I'll show you how that works. That's why I've got this phone here, because my other phone, the Ford Pass, doesn't work, and I'll show you that in a minute. Okay, Gmail, Google, 264 megabytes is being used on that. All these apps are taking up RAM. And I don't use any of these things. Look at all that. To me, it's all wasted. All right. So I've got this phone here basically to operate. Let me get out of here, back to my home page. The Ford Pass. It's bringing it up. Okay, now you can bring up vehicle controls, my vehicles, destinations, my dealer, water, park, for credit, perks, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. This one right here, I hit vehicle controls. Now with this one, okay, I can unlock the car, I can lock the car, I can start the engine up when I'm in the house, like when it's really cold outside, when it's really hot outside. I can start it up, and it'll warm up. I can set it for 10 minute, 20 minute, whatever I want to do. I use it sometimes. The main reason why I use this is my wife uses this car a lot. And sometimes I want to see if she's on the way home from work, or if she's not here, where is she? So I do that, and I pull it up. Now it shows me, okay, what my fuel reading is. Right now, okay, with 63% fuel reading in there. Now, there's not much RAM in here, so this thing's taking a long time to load up, if it even will load. Hey, finally it got there. Okay, I'm going to refresh. And again, it's going to take a long time, but when it pulls it up, it comes up with a map and it shows you where the car is parked at right now. All right, so let me get out of there. Let me close that out. That's the main reason why I've got this phone. So what happens is that when it comes up, and when it always updates itself and it's unusable to me, a little warning comes up and it says, insufficient memory, cannot run operation. So what do? I go again into my settings. Let me pull that up here and show you what to do in case you run into this problem. And I go into backup and reset. Factory reset. Boom. Reset phone. What that does is that will then put it back to the way that it was when you take it out of the box. All the factory installed apps are on there. Everything else that you installed is not on there. Now, sometimes you're able to transfer apps from the phone itself, internal memory, to your SD card. That frees up some room. On this particular ZTE, no can do. Okay, that one's done. LG, life's good. Sometimes. What's wrong with this phone? Well, let me show you. It's a good phone. Okay, authentication required. I'm not going to do that, though. Swipe to unlock. I don't want to do Skype right now. Okay. Now let me clear this out here. Okay, up here, okay. Clear, come on. There you go. Doesn't know what I'm trying to show you something. Okay. Where's my pointer? I don't have a pointer. Up on the top, you're going to see you've got the time, battery strength, signal strength, and your Wi-Fi is turned on. These over here are the apps right now that are updating. And this phone also updates all the time. Any Android phone you got, it's going to update. Now, my car, as almost all cars, has Bluetooth. Let's turn the Bluetooth on. See how it lights up? But notice, up here on top, we've got the Bluetooth icon. It's there, but it's what we call grayed out. It's not bright like the signal strength, the battery, and the Wi-Fi. So it's there, but it's not engaged. It's not turned on. It will not work. It does not communicate with my car or any other devices. I've got a printer that I use sometimes, and I print off of there. Some printers use Wi-Fi, some of them use Bluetooth. If you use a Bluetooth system, this phone, it does not work. Now, I have had several LG phones. This is the LG Rebel. I've got other LG phones, the Core, golly, I don't know how many of them I've got, and all of them have got the same problem. Now you're going to say, Crew Dog, it's not the phone. Something's wrong with you. No, nothing wrong with me. I've called up TracFone, and of course TracFones, they're not any good, use at all. They can't help you out. I've called LG. LG says, well, what we need to do is you need to go in, you need to go to that factory reset. Remember I showed you that on the settings? I've done that 3 times, and I've rebuilt the system. And when it comes back up again, it's the same thing. Okay. That car I don't have anymore. My wife turned it into a submarine. After a lot of rains, we had flooding, and she didn't know how deep it was, and she put the car into the water. But that's why you have insurance, right? That's right. So that car is now, I don't have it, but I hope no one else owns that car, because there was a flood damage. This is my, hello Motorola. This is a good phone. Okay, it's a good phone. Only reason why I don't use this phone is because there's no flash for the camera. None. So without a flash for the camera, without a flashlight, I don't like it. But I use this phone as a backup phone. So in case one of my other phones, like my LG or whatever else, if it goes bad, there's another term for it, but I can't use this as a family show. But if it goes bad, I transfer everything I've got to this phone until I get another phone. All right, so let me go ahead and close this one out. See, no recent apps. Okay, let's look at this phone for one thing here. Pull this down. Okay, this one doesn't do it, so I have to go into my settings. Not that settings, that's a Google settings, I don't want to do that. No! There we go. Settings. Bluetooth. Bluetooth on. See how it turned blue? It means it's turned on. Okay. This one as well. Because, okay, this phone is not activated. That's why it's not there. but it's showing it's not engaged, but the little icon's there. I shouldn't have showed you that. But anyway, that's that. Okay, turn off. This is my Samsung. This is the one that I use every day. My everyday driver. All right. We'll pull this one down. Bluetooth on. See how it lit up? Yeah, I know. I want to do that. Okay. See the icon? It is lit. This one works. That's the escape. This one, for whatever reason, on my Samsung, and I brought this up to Ford, they can't figure it out. I go to engage my Ford Pass. Comes up. Okay, everything's there. Vehicle controls. Uh-oh. Doesn't work. This is not compatible with the Ford Pass system from Ford. And they can't figure out why, neither can I. That's why I got the other phone to use to communicate with the car whenever the RAM is good, which is not right now. Okay, notice I got my escape, that one pulls up. I hit that. It shows me right now, okay, I've got 63% fuel left on board. It gives me the mileage on the car. My car's got 4,550 miles on it right now. So that works. Vehicle health report. It shows all that. Service history, vehicle details, maintenance. I don't want to delete the vehicle. But all that's in there. If any messages come up, like one time my wife was driving the car and she heard like a ding, ding, ding. And she didn't know what it was. So I pulled this up, vehicle messages, and it was the low pressure tire monitor that came up. So one of her tires was low. But if anything comes up, it'll show on this. And I get a thing at home here too. So that's that. It's a pretty good system. I don't know who else uses this, but I think, I know Lexus has got it. Used to have a Lexus, and Mercedes, I'm not too sure about that. But anyway, those are some of the things that I'm having problems with on my phones. So I don't know if you all are having the same problems I am, and if you are, then you'll know it's not only you. So, phones being as cheap as they are, what do? They got you by the short hairs, so you have to get another one. Now, I'm ordering most of my phones, okay, through Amazon now. I don't go through TracFone. Why? In case I have to do a return. You got about 30, 35, sometimes 60 days to return the phone, and you get back a full refund, or you can do an exchange for the same type phone. So you're not getting all the way ripped off. These particular phones here, I got from TracFone, and that's why I still got them, because I call them up on the phone to their customer service at the 1-800-867-7183. I got it memorized, see? And ask them, well, I need to return this phone. And you can hear the guy who's over in India or wherever he's at kind of going, you can't do that. So you can return it, but you have to return it. You have to contact them. You have to pay the postage. You have to give them a reason why you're returning the phone. And you have to have a receipt for your purchase, which is when you do a purchase through TracFone. If you do, print the receipt up on your printer as soon as you buy it. That way you've got a receipt. If you don't, you're screwed. But anyway, that's what I wanted to show you on these phones from TracFone, the shortcomings of them. I hope no one else is having the same problems I am. If you are, you know the reason why. It's because of that RAM, basically. And it's just that These are the lower end model phones because they don't put the EEPROM, the EEPROM, in there, which is what actually, that's where the RAM is controlled through, and it's a very small chip. You get the same phone through Verizon or whomever it is, you're going to get a larger usable RAM, and you're not going to run into these problems because you have a lot of room. You can put so many apps. You can also expand your memory. These you can't. They're locked. You're stuck. So you get a 1 gigabyte, which for TracFones a lot. A 1 gigabyte RAM, you're in there. A lot of these phones, Android, you can see on their site. You can get an Android example, an LG, what is it, Lumina, for $19.95, an Android phone. It's, for a kid, first phone is great. But it's only got like 500 and some odd megabytes of usable RAM, which means after putting 1 or 2 apps on it, it's useless. But to access into the internet, to use your Wi-Fi, the camera, whatever else, there you go. Okay, these got pretty good camera. I forgot about that. We got pretty good cameras. The ZTE camera right here. The ZTE has got, of course, it's got a forward-facing camera looking at you, so you can Skype, and you got your regular camera. The regular camera on this one is I believe it's an 8 megapixel, which is great, and it's got a 5 megapixel forward, but the picture is so dark. It's so dark. It's basically unusable. Okay, let me flip this around. Hey, there's a crew dog right there. But you see how dark it is? Not good, my friends. Not good at all. Okay, let me turn that one off. Oh, come on. There you go. Now the other one I've got here, this is my everyday phone. As I'll call it, my daily driver. This one is a 5 megapixel. Looking out that way. Looking back at you, it is a 2 megapixel. Hey, look at that. It's a crew dog. Hey, I got a circle around my face. You see how light it is? That's how it's supposed to be. And I use this when I do Skyping and everything else like everybody else does too. But that's a few things here and there. Hopefully this will help you out. Again, running into problems, you can call up TracFone and you can pull your hair out like I did because they don't know what they're talking about. They're good, for activating phones and for adding time and things like that, but you can do on your own at the website. But if you have troubleshooting, whatever, you can talk to that coffee cup right there, and you can get better results than you can from talking to TracFone. That's my own personal feelings about it. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. This is the Crew Dog out.